All right, let's talk about BoldTrail. If you're using it, you've got this super powerful tool kind of hiding in plain sight. It's called Smart Campaigns, and today we're going to demystify it so you can completely automate your lead follow-up. Seriously, the goal here is to help you stop chasing leads and actually start closing them. So let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? Your lead gen it's working. Maybe a little too well, right? You've got new contacts just pouring in, and you're trying to give every single one of them that immediate personal touch, and it just feels impossible. I mean, it's a good problem to have for sure, but it is still a problem. So, what if you had something that could just handle all the heavy lifting for you?
Well, that's exactly what a smart campaign is. Think of it as your own personal automated assistant. Its one and only job is to talk to your leads for you. It'll send messages, it'll create tasks on your to-do list, it'll nurture all those contacts automatically. Basically, it's the cure for that too many leads headache. Okay, so we're gonna jump into getting your first campaign up and running. And I know what you're probably thinking right now. Ugh, this sounds complicated. But I promise you, it is not. You can have your very first campaign live in, literally seconds. Let's look at the easiest way to get started. So inside BoldTrail, you're going to see two main areas for campaigns. First, you have system campaigns. Think of these as the pre-built, ready-to-go templates made by the experts. They're awesome. Then you have My Campaigns. That's your personal library. It's where you can tweak, customize, or build your own from scratch. But for now, to get started, we're going to hang out in the system library. It's the perfect place to begin. And when I say simple, I mean it. It's really just 3 clicks. First, you pop into the system library. Second, just scroll through and find one that looks like a good fit. You can preview it to see what it does. And third, you just click clone. And boom, that's it. The campaign is now in your personal library, ready to use. You've officially created your first automation. How easy was that? All right, section 2. So you've got this shiny new campaign you just cloned. But how does it know when to start? Like, what's the logic here? To get that, we kind of have to understand how these campaigns think. And believe me, it's pretty simple. It all starts with something called a trigger. A trigger, it's just the on switch. It's the specific event that tells a campaign, okay, it's time to go. I love thinking about it as the if part of an if-then instruction you'd give an assistant. You're literally just telling the system, hey, if this specific thing happens, well, that's when the campaign kicks off. It's like the starting pistol for the whole follow-up race. So what are these triggers? Well, they're probably things you're already doing every day. The most obvious one is lead is new. A new lead comes in, bam, campaign starts. Simple. But here's where it gets really cool. You can also trigger a campaign just by adding a hashtag to a contact, or maybe when you change their status to active lead. It's that kind of flexibility that makes this whole system so incredibly powerful. And this quote here, it just nails it. The whole idea is that as you're just doing your normal work, organizing your contacts, changing a status, adding a tag, the system is working silently in the background. It's automatically putting people on the right follow-up plan for where they are in their journey. The automation adapts to your workflow. You don't have to change a thing. It's brilliant. Okay, next up, what campaigns do. We've talked about the trigger, right? That's the if part. It's what kicks the whole thing off. But what about the then? What does the campaign actually do once it's triggered? Well, let's take a peek at your new assistant's to-do list. And every single item on that to-do list is called an action. An action is simply the specific task that the campaign performs automatically over time. So if a new lead comes in, then the campaign performs an action. See? It's the then do that part of the instruction. And this is where the magic happens, where the real work gets done without you even thinking about it. And these actions are super practical, stuff you actually need. Of course, it can send an email, it can send an SMS text message, all on its own. But, and this is a huge deal, it can also create a task for you. A reminder that pops up telling you to make a personal phone call. It's this perfect mix of pure hands-off automation and smart reminders for you to add that human touch. Now, don't worry, these actions aren't all going to bombard your lead at once. That would be terrible. No, they're strategically spaced out over time. So, for example, on day 1, maybe an instant welcome email goes out. Then on day 3, a friendly little check-in text.
And then maybe on day 7, the system creates a task for you to pick up the phone and call them. It creates this really nice, consistent, long-term nurturing plan, and you barely have to lift a finger. All right, section 4, choosing the right campaign. Because right about now, a really smart question probably popped into your head. If you have a bunch of different campaigns set up, how does the system know which one to use for which lead? It's a fantastic question, and luckily the answer is governed by one really simple, really powerful rule.
So let's imagine this scenario. Let's say you have a pretty general new buyer campaign, but you also have a really specific one just for new Zillow leads. Now, a new lead comes in from Zillow, so technically, they fit the criteria for both of those campaigns, right? So what happens? Which one does the system pick?
And the answer is incredibly simple. Ready? The most specific campaign always wins. That's it. The system looks at all the possible campaigns a lead could be on, and it picks the one with the most detailed, most specific triggers. It's a beautiful, simple rule that makes the whole thing predictable and honestly way more powerful. Let's look at that in action. You get a generic new buyer lead from your website. Easy. They get the general new buyer campaign. But that lead from Zillow, well, they match the new buyer campaign, sure, but they also match the Zillow campaign. And because that Zillow campaign is more specific, it wins. That's the campaign that's going to run for that lead. Simple as that. And this brings us to a really important point you gotta remember. A contact is only ever on one campaign at a time. Just one. And this is completely intentional. It's by design. It's what stops you from accidentally spamming a lead with messages from 3 different automations at once. The system is built to prioritize clear, targeted communication, not just a bunch of noise. All right, let's wrap this up. We've talked about what smart campaigns are, we've covered how they think with triggers, and we've seen what they can do with actions. You now have everything you need to get this going. So what's your next step? Well, it's time to actually do something with this. So here it is, your mission, should you choose to accept it. Sometime today, I want you to log into BoldTrail, go to that system campaign library, and just clone one campaign. That's the whole mission. It'll take you less than 60 seconds, I promise. But it is the single most important step you can take to actually put this all into practice. And as you go to do that, I want to leave you with this one last question to chew on. Now that you see what's possible, what's the first thing you're going to automate? Is it welcoming new leads from your website? Is it finally following up with those old contacts you've been meaning to get to? I mean, the possibilities here are endless, and you can literally start right now.